Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're gonna talk about odd meters. If you ask me, there's nothing odd about odd meters. It just takes a little bit of effort and time in order to get used to living and breathing in this rhythmical context. Note that in many countries around the world, in many folk musical cultures, odd meters is part of the language. For example, in Bulgaria or Turkey or even Greece, where I'm from, generally Balkans, it's very common for people to dance 7/8 or 9/8, etc. We're gonna talk more about this on our next lesson. I'd like to start this lesson by demonstrating my guerrilla way of counting odd meters. On the previous lesson, we talked about using the hands as a navigator, but we only used it for 4 quarters. And now I will show you how I'm using it for 3 quarters, etc. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Tack, 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 tack. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You get the idea. At this point, I would like to invite 2 of my collaborators and 2 amazing musicians that are experts in odd meters, Bodek Janke and Oded Tzur. What? Well, this is odd. So, Oded, would you like to talk a little bit about the way that you practice odd meters?
Hello, Petro. Thank you for having me. When I try to practice odd meters, at least in the context of Indian classical music, or a longer cycle, meaning a cycle that is kind of slow, like the one we have here, I try to think of the cycle as a place. 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. The cowbell is the downbeat here, okay? 6, 7, 1. We're on a 7-beat cycle. And as you see, you can't really necessarily get a feel because the cycle is too long for that. Sometimes you would also play a cycle of 14, 15, 16 or more beats that would be like really slow. And you have to develop a deeper relationship with the cycle in order to kind of map your way around. The way that I do it is, first of all, like I kind of do it now, to try to talk and think and still know where I am in the cycle. 6, 7, 1. Okay, to develop a relationship with it as if it's a place, as if it's a neighborhood that I am familiar with. And then no matter what happens, I know where I am. That's one way. And I kind of visualize it when I do that. I kind of visualize a triangle in this case. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Okay, can you see that in your imagination? 1. And then I kind of travel that route, so to speak, as I think about the music. Okay, as I make up my sentences, I kind of place them in a place, if you will. All right. The second thing that I do that also forces me to always know where I am is to practice T-highs, which is what Bodek is going to talk to you a little bit more about. 3, 4, 5, 6. ta, ta, ta. That's a very simple Ti high. Okay? It can even be just a note that repeats 3 times. That would be a very boring Ti high, but what it does is force you to know ta, 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 where you are. Okay? If I prolong it a little bit, ta, ta, ta. Alright? That's also a Ti high. Ta, ta, ta. Even more boring of a Ti high. Tak, tak, ta, ta, ta. 2, 3, 4. Ta, ta, ta. That was slightly longer Ti high, right? Because it started ta, ta, ta. So it depends on the distance between your starting point and the downbeat. That's how you have to calculate where the second element of the Ti high is going to land. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So all of these different methods or different tools are ways for me personally, and they work for me and my students, to get a relationship, again, with the cycle. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So that it's not arbitrary and that we actually have control over what we do and how we place our phrases in the cycle. Alright? So that's what helps me. I hope it helps you too. 4, 5, 6. Over to you, Petro.
Well, that was super interesting. Now I'd like to ask you, Bodek, about how you practice odd meters, and also can you talk about Ti highs?
Well, the best way is musicians, just let them play odd meters and play along with them. That's the best way. Okay, that was a joke. Here comes my real answer. A little bit of a glimpse into Indian music with the tabla. How do people in India approach odd meters and how do they deal with rhythm? In North Indian classical music, so-called Hindustani classical music, we have a rhythmical system which is called the tala system. This is based on rhythmical cycles. If you are playing in an odd meter, let's say 10 beats, this is called jhaptal in Hindustani classical music. For each cycle we have accents and non-accentuated notes. They're called the tali-kali system. We can express those moments in the rhythmical cycle with clapping and not clapping. The jhaptal cycle in 10 beats would look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And on the tabla we play syllables which we first learn to speak and then we translate them to the drums. The so-called teka of a rhythmical cycle is in jhaptal like this. Din na, din, din, na, din, na, din, din. So here comes Rupaktal. Rupaktal, a rhythmical cycle in 7 beats, which goes like this. Different tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The syllables are like this. ti, ti, na, din, na, din, na, ti, ti, na, din, na. As you can see, there is no accent on the one. 1, 3, 4. The 4 and the 6 are heavy. Very specific way to treat a cycle of 7 beats. And here is the tabla. Din, din, na, din, na, din, na, din. Now I'm gonna play a little composition called a so-called kaida, an organization of beats. The kaida, a typical tabla composition for rupak tal. I'm gonna start very slowly so you can understand the syllables. Da, te, ke, de, te, gena, da, ge, tu, na, gena. Da, te, de, te, gena, da, ge, tu, na, gena. Da, te, gena, da, ge, 6, 7, da, double time. 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Triplets. One. Double time. This is actually quadruple time at this point. And now I'm gonna start with an improvisation, very short, and finish up with a T-high. A T-high is a concluding phrase. It's like a rhythmical cadenza that brings you back to beat 1 of the cycle after a couple intricate stretches or transitions. So, 7, 1.
So cool. I think tabla is my favorite instrument after bass. I hope this was helpful, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. I'd be very glad to talk about it. Write to me through social media or through the Patreon interface. And yeah, keep in touch and keep exploring your groove. See you soon.